What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how much it costs to do a turbo engine swap in one of these first gen Imprezas. Thanks a lot for checking out the video guys. My name's Luke and you guys are watching the Subaru Only Show. Okay guys, so breaking down exactly how much it costs and all the pieces you need to do a turbo engine swap in one of these first gen Imprezas, we're going to start with the chassis and with the vehicle. That's the first place. You got to have a vehicle to start with. If you're going to buy one of these first gen Subaru Imprezas, there's a few different options. As you can see, I actually have a 1998 2.5 RS coupe model in the World Rally Blue color. This is a rare option, a rare color, a rare combination, and I believe there's only about 720 of these made in 1998 that were sold to the North American market. So this particular car is going to be a little bit more expensive than getting one of your standard four-door sedans or an Outback Sport or one of the other cars that isn't in this World Rally Blue color in the 2.5 RS kind of option. So if you were going to recreate this car, I think you're going to spend at least $8,000 to $10,000, and that's kind of being conservative, to pick up one of these 2.5 RSs in a coupe in this particular color. Now, of course, if you guys had an Outback Sport or a four-door sedan, you'd actually start with a little bit lower initial cost. And I think if you're going to have a clean example of Impreza, you're probably going to spend at least $3,000 to $5,000 to get a four-door sedan or an Outback Sport version, which is basically the hatchback version of this car. So that's kind of your starting place. My base model for this coupe, let's say conservatively, is a minimum of $8,000. And this one actually is a really low model example, so I think that's extremely conservative. I think if you were going to sell this car with a naturally aspirated original engine in it, with the miles that this one has, which is only 96,000 miles and change, I think this car probably sell for closer to $10,000 or maybe even a little bit more. But for the sake of being conservative and giving you guys a really fair breakdown of the costs, let's just say that this base model car for a coupe in this color and this combination would be about $8,000. Next, let's talk about the power plant, the turbo four-cylinder that you want to install in this car. So to do that, I'm going to pop the hood, give you guys a little bit of a close-up view of my EJ207, and we'll talk a little bit about the different options you guys have for these turbo four-cylinders and how much they typically go for on the used market. Okay guys, so what you're looking at here is an EJ207. This is actually a version 7 207 from a 2001 WRX STI out of Japan. So it's a JDM engine. Anytime you see something that says JDM, that actually stands for Japanese domestic model. If you see something that says USDM, that stands for US domestic model. So this is a JDM EJ207, version 7. And actually, like I've mentioned in one of my earlier videos, the version 7 comes with forged pistons and a semi-closed deck. And that's really important because the forged pistons have a lot more resistance to damage or to pre-ignition or detonation than cast pistons or moly pistons. And the semi-closed deck actually provides a lot more rigid support for that piston when you actually increase the cylinder pressure from a turbocharged engine or from a turbocharged engine that's running higher cylinder pressures because you put a bigger turbo in it or make more boost. So having a semi-closed deck is a really good option if you ever want to make higher horsepower, or if you just want to have a car that will have this stock horsepower but have less wear on the rings over time. Because actually the way it works is when you minimize the cylinder distortion, you actually preserve the rings longer. So let's talk about the cost. An EJ207, I just looked it up today on eBay. That's one of the best places to find these EJ207s. You can also get them from importers pretty much wherever you are in the world. But currently, one of these EJ207s typically goes for around $5,500. And I will show a picture of that really fast. I took a snapshot of it, the listing on eBay right now. So if you're gonna get one of these early STI engines, especially a version 7 EJ207, you're probably gonna spend a minimum of about $5,000 or $5,500. And of course, if you want to get something a little cheaper, you could actually do something like a US domestic model WRX engine or a European or JDM WRX engine. And I think that would drop your cost down to closer to probably $3,000 to $3,500. You're paying a premium for this STI engine. Because like I said, it actually has those forged pistons, it has a semi-closed deck. It also has a different cam profile, and the version 7 in particular has larger intake ports in the heads. Okay, so that basically covers the engine. One other little thing I'll mention on the power plant is kind of the rest of the driveline. If you're gonna put a turbocharged engine in your car, the transmission from the naturally aspirated motor is actually not designed to handle the power from the turbocharged engine. So it's a good idea to upgrade your transmission. That's something that a lot of people do. You can get away with it if you treat the transmission really gently and you drive the car kind of gingerly and gently. But if you're gonna put full power, if you're gonna drive the car aggressively, you wanna actually think about upgrading that transmission. There's multiple options to upgrade the transmission, but just going with a WRX transmission, which this car actually has. This car actually has the US domestic model WRX transmission from a 2004 WRX. Those transmissions are much stronger and engineered for much higher horsepower and higher torque loads than a naturally aspirated 5-speeds. So that's one option, is getting a WRX 5-speed. And those will typically cost around $2,000, maybe $1,500 to $2,000. Or you can do the JDM 6-speed or any US domestic model 6-speed, any of the 6-speeds. The 6-speed transmissions for these Subarus are actually really, really beefy and really strong. They're substantially over-engineered and better engineered for higher horsepower than the 5-speeds, even from the WRXs. So if you're gonna go all the way up to a 6-speed transmission, you're actually getting a transmission that's much, much stronger than the 5-speed transmissions. And you're actually gonna have to do larger axles. And if you do larger axles, because those larger axles actually go with a 6-speed, it's a 5x114 bolt pattern. They actually have a larger diameter for the axle shaft itself. So if you're gonna do a 6-speed, just know you're actually gonna have to get the 6-speed axles, the 6-speed hubs, and you're also gonna probably end up getting different wheels, because you wanna get wheels that have that 5x114 bolt pattern. So it ends up being kind of a domino effect of costs, where going from a 5-speed with a 5x110 bolt pattern, you can retain your axles, your hubs, and your wheels. When you go to the 6-speed, you often have to replace the axles, hubs, and wheels with like a whole new set. So I've actually seen people spend, you know, $5-6 grand easy to go to a 6-speed transmission because of all the extra parts they need. You also need to get the rear differential. One more cost to add into that kind of domino effect of costs. So that's the power plant, the driveline, the axles, the differential, the hubs, the wheels, all the things associated with that. So right now we're talking on this car, let's say $8,000 for the base car. We're talking another $5,500 for the engine. Add those two together. Where we at? We're at like $13,500. Then add the transmission cost. Typically those will be about $1,500 to $2,000. Let's just say $1,500. So now we're up to about 15 grand just for the engine, transmission, and the car. Okay. Moving on. What else do we have in this engine? Since we're talking about the engine, if you wanted to recreate my option, let's talk a little bit more about the little details. I actually have sorry, the shadow's not very good right here. I actually have one of these iWire grounding kits. That was about $300. Obviously, you can see I have the WRX STI carbon fiber strut tower brace. I think these go for about $300. And they also have this iWire kind of hood scoop right here. And so when you add those costs together, you're talking about pretty much about another $1,000 for the engine components that I have in this car. And then last, you'll actually see I have one of these aluminum welded coil rad radiators, and these will actually go for about $300 or $400 as well. And then last, I actually upgraded the head gaskets on this EJ207. It's a good idea to replace the head gaskets. So I actually added multi-layer steel head gaskets, new pulleys, new timing belt, new water pump. So all those components, you're probably looking at another, let's say, $600 for the engine components, the head gaskets, the pulleys, the timing belt, and then another $300 or $400 for this coil rad radiator. So looking at another $1,000 for those miscellaneous parts. We're probably talking at about $17,000 total now for this swap so far. Okay, so now let's talk about the wheels, the brakes, and the suspension. That's the next component that I've actually done in this car. And if you're upgrading that power plant to a turbo 4-cylinder, you might want to think about upgrading your brakes and your suspension. So let's kind of come down to the wheels. These are actually STI 2004 BBS forged wheels. These wheels typically go for about $1,500 to $1,000. These ones have a little bit of curb rash. Let's say $1,000 for this set. And then I actually have the StopTech big brake kit and the larger rotors. These are actually a 2-piece rotor where you can actually unbolt the rotor from the hub. It's a nice little upgrade that allows you to replace the rotors at a later time for much cheaper. So the StopTech big brake kit, that's actually about $2,500. And then if you look under here, you can't really see it, but I actually have 22B struts. And if you're gonna look for those and find those on the market, they're really hard to find. They're almost impossible to find, but let's just say you found them. I think they typically go for about $2,000. But even if you go with some standard KYB struts, I think a set of KYB struts is probably gonna cost you about $500. So between the wheels, the big brake kit from StopTech, and let's just say only $500. Let's say we only did KYB struts. That's another $3,000 in the wheels, the brake kit, and the strut setup that I have in this car. So add that $3,000 to our previous value of $17,000, and we're now looking at about $20,000 just in the parts alone. Then another thing I actually have under here, which you can't really see, I actually have Kind Fab fender braces, and I have a rear differential brace also made by Kind Fab, and I believe those cost typically around $300 for the fender braces and maybe another $100 for the rear diff brace, so add another $400 for the Kind Fab components on this car. And then I've also actually upgraded the rear brakes. I actually have 2-pot rear brakes in the back with some slotted rotors right there, and I believe these 2-pots will typically go for around $300 and the slotted rotors probably go for about $200. So let's say $500 for the 2-pots in the back and the slotted rotors, plus the Kind Fab stuff, plus the tax and shipping. We're looking at probably another $1,000 for the Kind Fab stuff and the rear brake setup. So we're basically looking at now about $21,000. Let's talk about the body components a little bit more. We should have maybe talked about that at the beginning, but the body components, as you guys have probably noticed, I actually have the crystal clear, I think the Kokoi, or however you pronounce that, these like clear rear taillights. These you can actually buy new from a lot of dealerships right now. These cost about $300 or $350 plus shipping and tax, so at least $350 for these. And then if you go around to the front, these have just some little clear turn signal markers, and I actually have the OEM JDM crystal front headlights. These actually cost about $300 for a nice clean set, and these are actually a beautiful set. And I actually have brand new OEM clear turn signals on this Subaru as well, and I think these are about $200 minimum, maybe $250. So let's say $300, $200, and then $300, $350 for the ones in the back. So we're looking at about another $850 for all those components on this car. So if you add those external components like the side markers, the crystal clear lights, the rear tail lights, you're looking at about another $800 to $850 on top of our $21,000. So we're actually at about $22,000 total. And that actually doesn't include any labor for installation of anything. And it doesn't include any of the interior components of the car. So the last piece of this car, if you want to recreate my car, would be getting a lot of the OEM new old stock components for the interior of this car. Now, of course, if you have a clean donor car to start with, you don't have to do any of these costs. You can kind of leave it at this $22,000 cost just for the parts in the car, not including labor. But if you want to recreate my car particularly, I actually have a lot of new old stock components on the inside of this car as well. Plus, I actually have a Dark Matter X shift set that I want to show you guys real fast. So moving on to the interior, I actually bought a new center console, a new lid, a new dash cubby, a new surround, a new radio surround, and I actually have a Dark Matter X shifter set up for this car. The Dark Matter X shifter actually costs about $2,000 alone. And then if you talk about all the other new old stock components I have in the car, like the center console, the lid, the e-brake surround, the shifter surround, the cubby, all those pieces was at least another $1,000. I actually got some of the lower dash components brand new, and I have this 2005 WRX steering wheel. So I have at least another $1,000 in interior pieces. That's probably grossly underestimated. Honestly, I probably have $2,000 interior components because I bought so many of these components. And then another $2,000 for a shifter setup. So let's say I have another $3,000 into components for the interior of this car. Okay, so if we add those interior components to the total cost of this vehicle, looking at about another $3,000 for those interior components and the Dark Matter X shifter, bringing our grand total up to about $25,000 for this vehicle. And that's just for the parts alone, for the car, and the engine, the transmission, and all the associated parts like the brakes, the suspension, the interior, the exterior pieces. $25,000 parts alone for this vehicle if you want to recreate it. Now you have to actually install everything and do the iWire kit. I forgot that. You actually have to have an iWire kit. It makes it a lot easier if you do an iWire kit, and the iWire kits typically cost around $850 or $900. So bring that $25,000 up to $26,000 if you add the iWire kit, and then you have to factor in the cost for actually having a shop do the installation. And I've actually called around, and most shops will charge you around $10,000 to $12,000 to do all the pieces I've talked about. To do the engine installation, the transmission, the axles, the brakes, the suspension, rebuild the engine with new head gaskets, new time belt pulleys, and water pump. do the interior pieces, do the wiring. There's no shop out there that's gonna do this for less than $10,000. I've called around. I have some friends that have said that they think it would be more like $5,000. I got news for you guys. There's no way in hell any shop is gonna do all that work that I just talked about for $5,000. The minimum a shop is gonna charge you guys is gonna be $10,000 to $12,000. And honestly, when you add everything up, I wouldn't be surprised that shop ends up charging you $15,000 to do all that labor. So let's just say, to be conservative, another $10,000 for all the labor that I talked about. So that bumps the cost of doing this build from about $26,000 for the parts in the car alone to about $36,000 to recreate this car and have it fully built. That's basically how much I think it would cost you if you want to break down all the different components and all the different costs associated with all the different components to do a turbo engine swap on one of these first gen Imprezas. I hope this video was informative for you guys. I hope it provided value. I hope it gave you guys better insight into the costs and the components if you want to rebuild a car like this, or if you want to do a turbo engine swap with your car. I know there's some ways you can cut some corners and do it a little cheaper, but any way you do it, I think you're gonna spend a minimum of probably $25,000. And like I said, this car would probably cost closer to $35,000 or $36,000. Thanks a lot for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comments below. My name's Luke. You guys are watching the Subaru Only channel. Until next time, guys, later.